It started with a smile. David was driving home past midnight, the road empty except for the faint glow of streetlights stretching into the distance. His eyes were heavy, his body tired after a long day, when he noticed her standing at the corner. A woman, pale in the yellow light, wearing a faded red dress. She wasn't waving, wasn't asking for help, just standing still, smiling. At first, he thought it was odd but harmless. Maybe she was waiting for someone, but as his car drew closer, he saw her smile, wide, too wide. Her lips stretched unnaturally, teeth glinting under the lamplight, her eyes locked directly on him. He shivered. Instinctively, he pressed harder on the accelerator, rushing past her. For a while, the road was quiet again. He told himself he was just imagining things, that exhaustion was making him see more than what was there. But 5 minutes later, at the next intersection, his heart nearly stopped. She was there again, the same woman, the same red dress, the same smile that looked painted on. She hadn't asked for a ride. She hadn't moved toward him. She just stood at the side of the road, head tilted, staring at him with that dreadful grin. David gripped the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white. "It's impossible," he muttered. "I left her behind." He drove faster, refusing to look into the rearview mirror, afraid he might see her sitting in the back seat. The road stretched endlessly. No cars, no shops, no sound except the hum of his engine. Then his headlights caught her again. Standing on the roadside, closer this time, her neck bent at an unnatural angle, smile wider than before, like her face was splitting apart. David's chest tightened. He considered stopping, asking who she was, but fear gnawed at him. He knew instinctively this wasn't a normal person. He pressed harder on the accelerator, sweat dripping down his temples. Minutes crawled by. His phone had no signal, the GPS map frozen. He kept driving, praying for a gas station, a house, anything. Then his car jolted, the engine sputtered. The fuel gauge pointed to empty, though he had filled the tank earlier. The car rolled to a stop in the middle of the deserted road. Silence. David's breath came in quick, shallow bursts. He glanced around. The street was empty. The woman was gone. Or so he thought. A faint tap-tap came from the passenger side window. Slowly, dreadfully, he turned his head. She was there. Her face inches away from the glass, fogging it with each breath. That smile, unnatural, grotesque, stretching beyond the limits of her skin. Her eyes bulged wide, unblinking, glowing faintly in the dark. David screamed and fumbled for the door lock. But he froze when he realized something terrifying. He hadn't heard the sound of her footsteps approaching. She hadn't walked to the car. She had simply appeared. The woman tilted her head further, smile trembling like it wanted to burst into laughter. Then she began to move. Not walking, not running, sliding. Her feet didn't touch the ground as she glided around the car, that grin never breaking. David shut his eyes, whispering prayers, refusing to look. For a moment, the sound stopped. No tapping, no movement, just silence. Then came a whisper right next to his ear inside the car. "Smile with me." David's eyes shot open. The passenger seat was empty, but in the mirror above him, her reflection sat grinning, her mouth stretching wider and wider until it split across her cheeks. The last thing he saw before the mirror cracked was her face leaning closer, filling the glass, smiling into his eyes. When a truck driver found David's abandoned car at dawn, the doors were locked, the key still in the ignition. The seatbelt was fastened, but David was gone. Only one thing remained drawn across the cracked windshield from the inside. A red smear in the shape of a smile.